Good afternoon and welcome to the September 8th virtual Indian Rocks Beach regular City Commission meeting, which is convening pursuant to executive orders issued by the Office of Governor Ron DeSantis, allowing local government bodies to conduct meetings of their governing boards without having a quorum of its members present physically or at any specific location, and utilizing communication media technology such as telephonic or video conferencing as provided by section 120545B2 Florida statute. At this time, before I call the roll and do the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd like to introduce our technology advisor, Matt.
Good afternoon. I'm going to ask that when the City Clerk, Deanna Riley, calls the name of each member in Indian Rocks Beach Commission, that you individually confirm that you're here, are able to hear us, and can respond. Please note that everyone but myself and the mayor is currently on mute. You should be able to unmute yourself, but if you're having trouble, I can also unmute you.
Thank you, Matt. At this time, I will call for us to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and at our 10-second silence, I would like for all of us to remember two longtime residents that we've had in Indian Rocks Beach. One is Mike McLaughlin and the other is Betsy Sheff. Wow. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And let's stand for 10 seconds, please, for both Betsy Sheff and for Mike McLaughlin. With that, would you please be seated? Deanne, would you please call the roll? Deanne, can you hear me?
The mayors of the City Commission appearing today are Mayor Cookie Kennedy. Can you hear me?
Here.
Vice Mayor Phil Hanna.
Here.
Commissioner Diane Flagg.
Here.
Commissioner Ed Hoofnagel.
Yes, I'm here.
Commissioner Joe McCall.
Here.
The members of the City Commission are here and accounted for. Please note that everyone except for the mayor and technology moderator is now on mute. There will be a technology moderator for this virtual meeting who will be tasked with facilitating the virtual meeting. For this virtual meeting, the technology moderator will be Matt Sabella, IT consultant for the city. Prior to any action on the agenda item, the mayor will seek public comment. The technology moderator will then ask for a virtual hand raising of all those wishing to speak on an agenda item. Please use the raise hand feature in Zoom by clicking on the participants icon at the bottom center of your screen or at the top of your screen in the control bar. The location of the feature is based on the device used to access the meeting. You may also dial 9 if you are calling into the meeting via phone. The number of hands will be noted and reported to the mayor. The technology moderator will then unmute each speaker in turn in the order that is shown by Zoom, allowing the speaker 3 minutes or the time as may be modified by the mayor for all speakers. To ensure an accurate record of the meeting, when addressing the City Commission, the member of the public must first state and spell his or her name, stating his or her address. Throughout the meeting, we ask that all presenters and commenters identify themselves by each time they speak, unless they have been introduced or specifically called on by name. Additionally, please be mindful of not speaking over one another.
Thank you, Deanne. And I would like to add that the commission can make a motion and should identify themselves and clearly state their motion. The commissioner making the second should identify themselves and then second the motion. All votes will be accomplished by a roll call vote. At this time, we will go to agenda item number 1. All of our reports of the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office and the report of the Pinellas Suncoast Fire and Rescue District have been submitted. At this time, Matt, is there anyone who would like to be addressed to speak through Zoom?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to take a brief moment of pause to allow those folks to either raise their hand or use the chat window. Madam Mayor, I'm seeing no activity, so I don't believe there's any public speakers at this time.
Thank you, Matt. And at this time, we will close the public comment and we will go to, is there any extra reports from the city manager today?
Yes, I do have several things to give updates to the commission about. A couple of months, 2 or 3 months back, the city issued a press release recognizing one of our elected officials for an honor that they recently received. It's my honor today to officially present to Cookie virtually Florida League of Cities Hometown Hero Award that was presented to over 100 municipal officials in 2020. And as we all know, Cookie's pretty persistent, and Cookie worked a lot on home rule and the issues with vacation rentals. So on behalf of the commission and the Florida League of Cities, I want to present this to Cookie, and I'll hand this to you here in a little bit, Cookie. Congratulations.
Thank you. I didn't know you were doing that. Thank you very much.
I can't tell you everything, Cookie. Let me give you an update about just random, these are in no particular order, operational items. In a recent IRB newsletter, it was reported that it gave a report about the red line. And the report said that they had been waiting on Pinellas County to issue building permits halfway through the project. The city of Indian Rocks Beach did away with their own building department, and the bar owner had to resubmit the paperwork. There was already a backlog due to the shutdown. They hope to receive them soon. I've had questions about this, and I actually responded to the publisher of the newsletter. And let me just give what the actual factual update is. A permit was issued for construction of 4 new restrooms at the Red Line in 2019. On April the 7th, 2020, the job was shut down by Pinellas Suncoast Fire Rescue District inspector because no permits were posted and no approved plans were on site. Both of those things are required. Last week, I had the pleasure of talking with Tom Green. Tom George. Mr. George made it clear to me that the delay in construction had nothing to do with the city or county, and that he was waiting on updated plans that reflects all the work improvements that they are making to the Red Line. No plans have been submitted from his architect to the city or county, so I just want to clear up any misconceptions with the commissioner or the public that we're somehow holding that project up. We are not. The article also indicated, one of the statements in the article was that during this transition period that we're in, where the county has taken over the building official function, that somehow that any pending permits, all these permit holders had to resubmit new paperwork to the county. That's not correct either. So I just wanted to clear that up. I would encourage, on behalf of the administration and the commission, that if the public has any questions about city operations, that they call us here at City Hall. We operate a clean shop. We don't keep any secrets here. And generally, gathering your information off Facebook posts, and specifically the IRB Neighborhood app, is not a reliable source of facts as it relates to city operations. So, if any resident, I'm a resident of IRB, if any resident has any questions about city operations or projects or what's going on, please give us a call here at City Hall and we'll be happy to answer any question. In the topic of pending ordinances, based on the consensus of the commission back at your workshop, Randy Moore and I are actively working on finalizing the drafts of 6 different ordinances. Ordinance relates to fishing on the beach, park hours, plan review fee clarification, no trace ordinance, golf carts, and parking. All those things We met today, Randy and I met today virtually, and all those things should be on the October 13th, 2020 Indian Rocks Beach City Commission agenda in October. And the second reading will be on November the 10th, 2020. The commission knows this, but it's a reminder to the public that when an ordinance is passed, it requires 2 hearings. So there's at least 2 more opportunities for the public to make comment. We think that we'll have the draft ordinances posted on the city's website next week. So that'll give the public plenty of time to take a look at those and weigh in on how they feel about it. On the budget, the final budget hearing will be held on September the 17th at 6 p.m. In addition to this item, we will request approval from the commission to sign the necessary documents to accept approximately $5.6 million for the next phase of the Gulf Boulevard undergrounding project. I'll tell you, for that meeting, which is next Thursday, I'll be unable to attend due to an immediate family member having a scheduled surgery, but you'll be in the good hands of Dan, Randy Moore, and Deanne. There's going to be a beach easement forum that'll be used, that'll be done through the Zoom format. It's be conducted by Pinellas County, and that's going to take place on September the 23rd from 6 to 7:30. The county and the Corps of Engineers will be online to brief the public, and particularly the individuals that received letters from the county about the need for easements will be online to present the project, the program, and answer any meetings. So this meeting was originally scheduled 4 or 5 months ago and had to be rescheduled for various reasons, including COVID. So that's September the 23rd at 6 to 7:30. We're going to send another postcard to all the beach property owners, and then we'll be doing a press release where all the Zoom information will be on that. A couple of our undergrounding project. Today we received a call from Duke Energy. As you know, Hurricane Hannah hit the coast of Texas and Louisiana, and a lot of the crews that they use for that type work have all been sent to Louisiana and Texas. Already, all the property owners along that section of Gulf Boulevard are receiving their power from the new underground power source, but the removal of the poles, the related infrastructure, and the installation of the new streetlight poles, that probably will not conclude now until sometime in mid-November, but that's the reason for that, but we'll get that wrapped up. Stormwater drainage projects at 319 Harbor Drive and 316 La Hacienda start this month. It's part of the Swift Mode grant funds that we received, and that'll be improved runoff mitigation, filtration, and new pipe infrastructure. That's about a $122,000 grant that we received. The commission approved, at my request in this year's budget, a pretty good sum of money to be more proactive with opening of storm drainage throughout the city. I'm happy to report to you that to date, we're about 60% complete with cleaning all storm drains. We started from the south, we're working our way north. I think we're about to 20th Avenue right now, but in the next month, we'll be finished all the way to 27th. City Hall reopening, we're gonna reopen City Hall on next Monday. Normal operating hours except for the library. The library will be open Monday through Friday from 1 to 4. We're still not gonna do any auditorium rentals or pavilions. And then we'll limit the number of people in the lobby areas. And last but not least, I wanna thank the whole team that we have here with the city, as we all have been living and dealing with COVID. Operational delivery for the city has been very unusual, to say the least. For example, the library for the last couple months has been able to deliver books and magazines and any other items that we check out in the library, where people log on online and they can request anything that we have, and the volunteers in our library literally have delivered those items out to the parking lot when people pull up. Solid waste, you know what solid waste has done. We just throw it in the trash can and forget it, but particularly in these COVID times, they're picking up a lot of things out there, and they've not stopped. Public services the same way. The enhanced cleaning for public areas and restrooms. finance. One of the things we have access to reimbursement for any COVID-related expenses. And, related to that and other things, I particularly want to thank the city clerk and the city attorney for everything they've been involved in. We can have a conversation about 6 ordinances and we go on our merry way and draft those. There's a lot that's involved in that. And for the city clerk, for all the extra meetings and just the Zoom format, there's a lot involved. So I just wanted to take time and thank the team that we have here. And of course, none of that's possible without the support of the 5 commissioners. So I appreciate that. And I'll stop now and be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Bill, unmute yourself. Thank you.
I've been told that before. Greg, would you have just a moment to update everybody on the solar panels and progress on that project?
Yeah, we're about probably 75% with the City Hall project. Unfortunately, the last shipment of panels that were delivered to City Hall, for the contractor, had some panels that had some damage. So they've had to reorder those. So we should get those in this week. So now the last part of this project will be the panels on the museum. And we should be completely finished with the whole solar project by the end of this month.
Does anyone else have any questions for the city manager at this time? If not, Randy, do you have any reports to give to the commission tonight?
No report, Mayor. Thank you.
And I'm assuming all of the commissioners have submitted reports if they so needed to. Is there anything any of you would like to bring up before we move along to our first agenda item? Hearing none.
Cookie.
Diane?
That's all right.
Yes, Commissioner?
I wanted to mention one thing that to remind everyone, on the 17th of September on channel WEDU, there's going to be a documentary. It's about the Plein Air Cottage artists. It's Canvas with a Cause, and it highlights our coastal communities. So anyone that would like to see it, it would be on the 17th. So I just wanted to remind everybody.
Perfect. That is awesome. Okay, with that, our agenda item number 4, are there any additions or deletions? Hearing none, I'll move on to the consent agenda. Randy, would you like to read the consent agenda?
Happily, Mayor, there are items A through E on the consent agenda. Item A, approval of the
Randy, you muted yourself.
sorry about that. Item A, approval of the August 11, 2020 regular city commission meeting minutes. Item B, approval of the July 23rd, 2020 city commission work session minutes. Item C, approval of the fiscal year 2020 law enforcement contract with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. Item D, resolution number 2020-09, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Indian Rocks Beach, Florida, nominating an elected official to forward Pinellas and providing an effective date. And item E, confirming action taken during the September 3rd, 2020 special City Commission meeting. These are all items A through E on the consent agenda, Mayor.
Thank you. Is there a motion by a commissioner?
I motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner McCall. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Commissioner Hanna. Is there any comments on the consent agenda?
No.
Mr. Hofnagel?
Yeah, in this time where we have a lot of uncertainty, I would like to express gratitude to the first responders. I feel like our city and county have been fortunate in the sense that our first responders have shown respect, discipline, and honor towards our communities.
Thank you, Ed. Is there anyone else? Deanne, would you please call the roll?
We can do that by all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. With that, we'll move on to 6A, public hearings. BOA case number 2020-05, 2004-20th Avenue Parkway. Randy, would you like to read?
Yes, Mayor, before we begin, this is a quasi-judicial matter. As the members of the commission well know, in a quasi-judicial setting, you are not making the law, but rather applying the law to establish criteria within your code. The application before you is considering variance requests from section 94-86A1 of 2 feet 6 inches into the 12-foot side yard setback from the northeast projected property line, leaving a side yard setback of 9 feet 6 inches and of 5 feet 6 inches into the 12-foot side yard setback from the southwest projected property line, leaving a side yard setback of 6 feet 6 inches for the installation of a new dock for the property located at 2004 20th Avenue Parkway, Indian Rocks Beach, Florida, and legally described as Lot 16 and part of Lot 15, 7th edition of the re-revised map of Indian Beach, parcel number 06-30-15-42156-000-0160. Before we begin, has any member of this body had any ex parte communications with the applicant or their agent?
No.
Let record reflect all have shaken their head in the negative or otherwise replied vocally no. Has any member of this body conducted a site visit for the limited purpose of evaluating this application? Let record reflect all members have audibly replied no or otherwise shaken their head in the negative. With that, before we begin, ordinarily I would have anybody present in the room stand, raise their right hand, and offer their oath. As the individual speakers of the public come forward to offer their oath or offer their testimony, they will be sworn. As I cannot see video from each and every person on the screen at this time, as members of the public and their agents otherwise participate. For those who are joining the call, the ordinary course of a hearing of this nature is that staff will make its presentation, then the applicant, then it will go to any member of the public, then staff will make any closing statements, and the applicant any closing statements with the opportunity for the commission to ask questions along the way. Once the applicant or their agent makes any final statements, we will then proceed to discussion among the body. So at this point, excuse me, we'll begin with the staff presentation.
Greg, would you like to give your staff report?
Sure. This is an application by Thomas and Nicole Schaub, and they're requesting a variance from the side setbacks for the installation of a dock. They're requesting 2 foot 6 inches into the 12-foot side yard setback from the northeast projected property line, leaving a side yard setback of 9 foot 6 inches and 5 feet 6 inches into the 12-foot required side yard setback from the southwest projected property line, leaving a setback of 6 foot 6 inches. The staff recommended approval of the application. When the Board of Adjustment Appeals reviewed it, they recommended unanimously the approval. And really, that's, we've provided photographs for the commission as part of the agenda packet. The primary problem or issue they're having is not self-created. It's on a lot that has an unusual radius and a curve of the property line, and that really creates part of their issues. But like I said, it was recommended by staff and recommended unanimously by the Board of Adjustment, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Do any of the commissioners have any questions at this time? With that, I'd like to ask Matt, the moderator, to ask the applicant to speak if they are available and on Zoom with us tonight.
Yeah, may I have your attention, please, member of the public, for this item. If you'd like to go ahead and speak on this matter, please show both your video and unmute yourself at this time.
And at this point in the hearing, we'd be looking for the agent or their applicant, the applicant rather, or their agent to be speaking before we go to the public at large. And that appears to be Mr. Place based on the Board of Adjustment hearing, but I'll allow him to speak for himself.
I'm here.
Mr. Place. You may speak.
I'm here just to answer any questions. Mr. Purdy,
Sir,
if anybody has any questions on it, due to the side setbacks is the big reason. And we have gotten
adjacent property.
Could you state your address for me, Mr. Place?
My home address is 2616 Sycamore Drive, Clearwater, Florida.
And sir, do
Okay.
you swear or affirm any testimony you are going to give before this body is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Apologies for the interruption.
No problem. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Place concerning this item? If not, I'm going to go to Matt, the moderator. Is there to ask if there's anyone who would like to speak virtually on this agenda item?
Madam Mayor, I'm just going to give a moment for them to utilize the raise hand feature and for the comments
Okay,
to the chat section.
okay.
Seeing no participation, there is no public comment.
Okay, at this time, do any of the commissioners, one more time, have any questions for the applicant? If not, is there a motion? Commissioner Flagg?
You're on mute if you're speaking.
You need to unmute yourself, Commissioner Flagg. Very good, it's no problem.
Then I'd like to make a motion to accept the BOA case number 2020-05, 2004 20th Avenue in favor of the setback and variance.
Thank you, Commissioner Flagg. Would you also add that it's 20th Avenue Parkway, just for the record?
Yes.
And is there a second?
Ed Hufnagel, second.
Thank you, Ed. Commissioner Flagg, would you like to make any comments as the maker of the motion?
No comment.
Commissioner Hufnagel, any
I-
comments?
I think the Board of Adjustments reviewed it thoroughly.
Very well.
I thought it was a good attempt to reduce the width of the planks to make it as minimally invasive as possible.
Absolutely. Is there any other commissioner who'd like to speak at this time? Hearing none, Deanne, would you call the roll?
Commissioner McCall,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hannah,
Yes.
Commissioner Hufnagel,
Yes.
Commissioner Flagg, Commissioner,
Diane, could you unmute yourself? Diane, unmute yourself.
Okay, I
Can-
just
can-
prompted the unmute on her
Okay.
end. She still has to click unmute though. Diane, do you see
Diane,
that?
Yes, can you hear
Here you
me?
go,
There we
unmute,
go.
yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Flagg,
Are you for this? Thank you.
Mayor Kennedy.
Yes, thank you. Motion carries. Good luck, Mr. Place.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for stopping in tonight.
Miss seeing you in person.
Okay, I know. With that, we're going to go to agenda item 6B, ABT 11-2020, 2300 Gulf Boulevard, which is as 2 COP alcoholic beverage license designation. And with that, I will turn it over to our city attorney, Randy Mora.
Yes, and before we proceed, commissioners, just a bit of tech advice. If you are within the window and certainly at least on a PC, in Zoom, if you hold the spacebar button, that is a temporary unmute. That way you don't have to navigate too much with clicking and unclicking if you're just trying to say yes or no. That said, proceeding to the application before us, we will, out of caution, proceed in a quasi-judicial posture. This is ABT 11-2020. 2300 Gulf Boulevard, considering a 2 COP alcoholic beverage license designation for beer, wine, by the drink, or in sealed containers for consumption on or off premises where sold to Michael Fisher, doing business as Beach Waves Grill LLC, which establishment is located at 2300 Gulf Boulevard, Suite 1, Indian Rocks Beach, Florida, and legally described as Indian Beach, re-revised, Block 42, Lot 6 and 7, Les Road on East parcel ID number 01-30-14-42030-042-0060. With that, I turn it over to staff to make its presentation, and then going forward, we will proceed much in the same fashion as we did on the last application.
Deanne, would you like to give the staff report?
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This is for a 2COP where Taipan Alley used to be. Michael Fisher purchased the business and they're requesting the restaurant's going to be called Beach Waves Grill. They're changing the menu to more of a casual beach food. They're requesting everything that Taipan had, beer, wine, and sale of alcohol. And when I did the background request from the sheriff's office, it came back with some information, and it said some of the Mr. Fisher and his partners came back with some criminal activity, and one of the partners, Nicole Tenderholt, she paid for a background check through the state of Florida, and they were not subjects of the case. They were either witnesses or they were involved in the investigation. They either were spoken to, interviewed by the detectives or by the deputies, but they had no relationship to the actual crime that was committed. And if you do pass this, staff is recommending that the city add to the approval with the add a stipulation: repeated or intermittent nuisance activity and or unlawful noise levels originating from the establishment or the parking area may result in the revocation in the alcoholic beverage designation. And the planning consultant found the parking to be in compliance with the city code. And if the commission has any questions.
Does anyone have any questions for the city clerk at this time? If not, Matt?
Being none, Ms. Tenderholt, it appears you're the, based on just the clerk's statements, you would be the owner or their representative at this hearing. Could you please raise your right hand, ma'am? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you are going to give before this body is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Please make your case to the commission.
Good evening, Commission and Mayor Kennedy. Thank you for allowing us to come on. We are excited to bring our concept to your community. We're actually going to try to keep a little bit of the Taipan Alley geared in with what we're bringing with the beach stuff. We are family and friend owned. I know there was some confusion on the stuff that came back, so I do appreciate the time for us to look into that before today's meeting. We're just super excited. We've all grown up in this area, been very familiar with your community, and are really excited to be part of what we're bringing to you guys. So we would eventually possibly like to look at getting more than the beer and wine. We're limited to the beer and wine right now because of the size of the restaurant of the 50 seats. So potentially if we grow and do well, then we'll look at increasing that with you, but that is why we're just going for the beer and the wine license at this time.
Thank you, Nicole. Does anyone on the commission have a question for Nicole at this time? Commissioner Flagg?
I was just curious as to when you were going to open and your hours of operation.
Yep, we're actually going to be Sunday through Saturday. We're looking at 11 in the morning until 10 at night. We know the noise ordinance goes until 9, so we will make sure to adhere to that for you. We know we're surrounded by condos and we are aware of that. We're pushing right now to open mid to late September with the grand opening. So stay tuned for an application for approval for that. But we are just kind of in the clean out, clear out remodeling. So anybody in the area is welcome to stop in and see what we have going on and kind of meet the owners. There is 6 of us that are actual owners, all spouses that have gone into this together. So we're really excited. Mike Fisher, who's on the call, he's actually going to be the kitchen manager chef that's overseeing the menu. So we do realize Taipan was a staple and a lot of people are sad to see it go. So we are dedicating a corner of the menu to them and keeping some of the local favorites just to keep that alive in the community. So.
Thank you, Nicole. It's always great to see a new restaurant because we like to go and visit. And is there any other commissioner that has a comment at this time? If there is not, we can go out to the public. Matt, is there anyone on the public who would like to speak through Zoom tonight?
No, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. I'll close the public hearing. And at this time, I'm looking for a motion. Is there a motion? Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the liquor or the COP 2 license with a provision that says repeated noise or nuisance activity around the premises or parking areas would result in a suspension of the license.
Thank you, Commissioner Hofnagel. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Flagg is second. Is there any other comments from the maker of the motion?
No, I was happy to hear from Deanne that all of the background report data that came back was not related to the applicants. And Deanne, could you just confirm that to me once again for the record?
Yes, the items that showed up through the sheriff's office, it said close on each one. So I contacted Nicole and I also contacted the sheriff's office, and she did a background check through the state of Florida, and they were actually like interviews of the family members and friends, and they were not even a subject of the case. Sometimes they were like, they were the witness of a case. They were they were interviewed. If it was like something happened next door, like a burglary, they came over and they interviewed them, but they were not a subject of the case. They were not arrested for them or anything.
Thank you, Deanne. Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you. With that, Diane, any other questions or comments?
No, welcome to Indian Rocks Beach.
Thank
Can
you. We're
we,
excited to be here.
Deanne, could you take the roll?
Commissioner McCall,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hanna,
Yes.
Commissioner Flagg,
Yes.
Commissioner Hoofnagel,
Yes.
Mayor Kennedy.
Yes. Nicole, good luck with your 5 other partners, and we will definitely be in to visit with you. Have a great night. With that, now we're going to move on to the next ABT 12-2020 1401 Gulf Boulevard Groupers, a 2 COP alcoholic beverage license designation. Randy, would you like to read?
Happily, Madam Mayor. ABT 12-2020-1401 Gulf Boulevard. Considering a 2 COP alcoholic beverage license designation, parentheses, beer/wine by the drink or in sealed containers for consumption on or off premises where sold, to Michael G. Alfaro, doing business as Groupers on the Gulf LLC, which establishment is located at 1401 Gulf Boulevard, unit number 7 and 8, Indian Rocks Beach, Florida, and legally described as Indian Beach Re-Revised Block 29, lots 1, 2, and 3, parcel ID 01-30-14-42030-029-0010. Again, out of caution, we proceed here in a quasi-judicial posture. With that, before we begin, has any member of the body had any ex parte communications with the applicant?
I did.
Madam Mayor, could you please disclose the nature of that communication?
Yes, I went in to see their restaurant and both of the owners were there.
And did you discuss anything of substance relative to the application before you this evening?
No, we did not. I asked them if they were coming. If they were going to be on the phone.
Do you feel that your interaction with them in any way impairs your ability to impartially adjudicate this matter?
No, I don't think it does.
Okay, thank you. With that, again, we'll go through the same course. It'll be staff, applicant, if then open to the public. If the applicant or staff has anything else to offer, they may. With that, I turn it over to the clerk.
Deanne, would you please give the staff report concerning this agenda item?
Thank you. The Alfaros purchased Groupers from Adam McLean in late July, and they are requesting the same. They're requesting 2 COP for Groupers on the Gulf, and they're and I put a copy of their menu within the agenda packet, and they're actually keeping the same menu, adding a little more items. There was no reported incidents from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, and the planning consultant has found them in compliance with the city code regarding parking. And I did want to make note that the city did receive 2 opposition letters from the same complex, and the complex is Beachside Villas. And what the gist of them were, they strongly objected to more liquor license and designated requests in this area, as it's already saturated with liquor stores, bars, and restaurants. And we also received one in support of Groupers request. And if City Commission does approve this, as like the last one, staff would recommend that you add with the following stipulation: repeated or intermediate nuisance activity and/or unlawful noise levels originating from the establishment or the parking area may result in the revocation of the alcoholic beverage designation. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Deanne. Is there any commissioner at this time who has a comment for the city clerk?
Oh, no, nothing.
Okay, I'm going to ask our moderator to bring on Mr. Alfaro, and so that he can, the applicant can do his presentation.
Mr. Alfaro, you may unmute yourself at this time. Thank you.
Alfaro, before you begin, could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give before this body is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may proceed with making your case to the commission.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for letting us be a part of this meeting, the agenda and the cadence of everything that goes on here in this community. We're excited to be part of this community. We plan on bringing a little twist on what was here in the past. We do not plan on expanding into liquor at all. Beer and wine is as far as we want to go. And it's going to be a family-owned and operated business with my wife and my 3 college sons.
Nice, nice. Is there anyone at this time who has any questions for Mr. Alfaro? Commissioner Flagg?
Just curious again, when you're going to open and hours of operation.
We plan on opening as soon as possible. September 18th is a tentative grand opening date. And hours of operation 11 to 9 during the week, and Friday and Saturday 11 till 10.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, I'm going to ask Matt to go out to see if there is anyone who would like to speak on this item virtually.
I do see that Doug Izzo would like to be recognized. Doug Izzo, would you please state your name and address for the record?
Hi, my name is Doug Izzo. I'm with the Tampa Bay Beaches Chamber of Commerce. I just wanted to speak in support of this item.
Sorry, Mr. Izzo, before you get into your substantive comments, can you raise your right hand?
Oh, yes.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give before this body is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may proceed. Apologies for the interruption.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to say, I just wanted to speak in favor of this agenda item. Like you said, it's just beer and wine, not a full liquor bar, and it's a family-run, operated business, and just good to see businesses open, especially this time of now.
For sure.
Hi, Doug.
Good to see you.
Well, and we're happy too that there are some individuals that are opening businesses, especially in Indian Rocks Beach. Is there anyone else from the public who'd like to speak, Matt?
Madam Mayor, I see no other participants. Thank you.
Okay, with that, I'll close the public hearing, and I will look for the commission. Do you have any other comments for the applicant? And if not, is there a motion?
This is Ed Hufnagel to motion to approve the COP2 license with the stipulation that repeated or intermittent nuisance or unlawful noise activity around the premises or parking areas may result in the termination of the license.
Very good. Is there a second? Mr. Hannah is making a second. With that, Mr. Hufnagel, do you have any comments?
I just wanted to let the applicant know that when my kids worked for me, they really studied hard the next year. I've never seen them work so hard in school.
That's good to know.
Ditto. Mr. Hannah?
No, I just wish them well. The food is always good there, and I know you'll improve on it and make it a very welcome part of our community.
Thank you.
Any comments from Mr. McCall or Mrs. Flagg there?
Welcome to Indian Rocks Beach.
100%.
Thank you.
Welcome to the IRB.
Anything else, Mr. Alfaro?
No, I'm just excited to be part of this community.
Thank you. Okay, with that, I'm
Okay.
going to have Deanne call the roll.
Commissioner McCall,
Yes.
Commissioner Flagg,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hannah,
Yes.
Commissioner Hufnagel,
Yes.
Mayor Kennedy.
Yes. Thank you and good luck with you and your family. Okay, bye now. Thank you. At this time, we're on agenda item number 7. Are there any other legislative matters to come before this board tonight? Hearing none. We do not have any work session items for discussion. And so with that, is there any other business?
No, Mayor, I would just like to note, as we continue to proceed through these hearings, we have the blessing of the governor's office to continue in this posture at least through the beginning of October. We will have to see if this endures, at least the permission to proceed this way endures. If not, of course, management and I will work together to, one, accommodate the commission and the public in the best manner possible, and to communicate through the best notice possible to the public how we are proceeding. But I understand we do have budget meetings during September, but since our next regular meeting is not until next month, I thought I would share that information.
Thank you for that. And I just want to be clear that earlier tonight, Matt, that I did open this hearing with the public comments. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Mayor, you did. And I did not see any participants at that time. However, I did see that the PCSO sheriff deputy was in attendance. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Hufnagel.
If you feel for some reason that there was public comment that was missed, it would not be objected if you were to open that.
Is everyone okay with that if I just open quickly? Okay. With that, Matt, if there's anyone else who would like to speak tonight under public comment, would you look and see if there's anyone from Zoom, if there's any speakers?
Sure, Madam Mayor, I'd like to give the audience about 20 seconds to go ahead and either raise their hand, use the chat feature, or go ahead and show their video or unmute themselves at this time. Thank you. Seeing none, there are no other participants. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. And I want to thank Matt for all of the meetings that he has done for us. He has done a wonderful job, and we've had some technical difficulties tonight. We did really well. I'm very happy with this meeting, and I know all of you are too. So thank you, Matt. Thank our city manager and all of our staff, as Greg said, for everything that they have been doing through the COVID and learning to do Zoom, and all of the commission. You've all had to learn how to do Zoom too. And as you know, it is not easy. It's getting better though. And I appreciate all of you. And with that, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Ed Hufnagel, motion to adjourn.
And is there a second?
Second.
Diane Flagg seconds the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries, and good night, and we'll see you in about a week.
Good night. Thank you.